Marketing Communications Today, presented by the West Virginia University Reed College of Media, which offers renowned online master's degree programs in marketing communications. Thank you for joining us today. And today I'm really happy to introduce our guest, Alex Virden. She is Product Marketing Lead, Community Engagement and Financial Education at EVERFI. And she's an experienced marketing professional, currently working in product marketing at EVERFI. And that's an organization driving social impact through education. She runs a side hustle, Virdical, where she consults on branding, content development, and training. While not in the office or helping clients, Alex mentors several up-and-coming female leaders. That's particularly great because we're doing this on International Women's Day. That's the day we're recording. From industries including food and beverage, energy, healthcare, and personal wellness. She's a fierce customer advocate who is passionately curious about marketing, and she geeks out over all things process and strategy. Outside of the office, Alex loves to travel, box, practice the banjo, explore the outdoors with her Frenchie Teddy, or spend time with her husband, family, or friends. So Alex, we're so happy to have you here today, and we're going to be talking about product marketing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Sure. So bringing a new product or service to the market can feel like a daunting task to some. If it's not promoted properly, you could miss out on an opportunity or lose money down the line. Mm-hmm. So Alex is going to talk about what it takes in real life to bring a new product or service to market and how she combines creativity and innovation in her work. And so first off, Alex, why don't we start with a common thread? Tell us, what is product marketing?
Sure. Product marketing is a bit of an interesting and emerging function. I recently read a report by the Product Marketing Alliance, which is a group of over 10,000 product marketers that sort of come together to give insights from various industries. But the report said that only 5% of product marketers are 100% sure of what the role of product marketing actually does. So product marketing can change from place to place. It can be incredibly executional, so very sales enablement focused, or it can be extremely tactical and strategic. But for me at EVERFI, my role as a product marketer is really a centralized role, a hub or connector to the key teams that I work with, including customer success, marketing, sales, product development, engineering, customer marketing, all the different spokes out that need key information around products, features, personas, market intel, competitive intelligence. And there's really 5 different areas kind of that I'm working in day to day. So one would be discovery, where I'm looking into hypotheses around potential markets, potential items to put on our roadmap, fleshing out personas, talking to customers. Another area is strategy. So that's product market fit, pricing, go-to-market, planning for launches or feature releases, defining and training. So working with our sales team and our marketers on training up on what the new product could be or will be, how to talk about it, how to write marketing messaging about it, and then getting set and growing a product from launch and post-launch activities. So you're doing a lot of things as a product marketer, for sure.
Very busy job. And it sounds like you interact with just about everybody in the company.
Yep. That's something, I can't underscore enough, is that communication and wanting to be out there and sort of the face of some things at times is really important as the whole sort of lends itself to be.
Well, I can just sense your enthusiasm about this. And I'm wondering, as you're thinking about this, what are a couple of the most interesting products you've had an opportunity to market? What really caught your interest?
Yeah, absolutely. So one product that I worked on at EVERFI with one of my colleagues was a product that was for the HR space around COVID-19. And the reason that this course was so interesting was it was not originally on our roadmap, but we felt, given the market pressure, what we were hearing from customers and what we were sensing, we needed to build something in order to help some of our key personas be able to communicate to their employees and the just community around their businesses around what they were doing. So we built this product in about a month, marketed it, went through the process of training the team, building assets, and it was really exciting from a just go-to-market perspective and an innovation perspective of how quickly could we kind of build these different blocks and put something together. And that product actually ended up being a finalist for the Product Marketing Alliance's 2020 awards. So exciting to see that kind of come full circle.
Yeah, very timely.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, did you study marketing in college? How did you get to be a specialist in this field?
Great question. So I started college actually as a comparative literature major. I loved to read, to write, to study languages. At one point, I was taking Italian, Spanish, and Arabic. And then I think second semester junior year, I started to think, well, what does a career look like? And so then I transferred actually into the School of Communications at the University of South Carolina. And my first job out of college was actually in public relations. And I realized I wasn't great cold calling, pitching stories was not what I like to do, but what I was interested in is sort of creating messaging, and I loved writing the emails and sort of like strategizing around that. So that's when I sort of transitioned into marketing. And actually for the majority of my career, I've been in more of a demand gen campaign marketing role where I've done developing webinars, events, trying to drive more top of the funnel lead generation and interest in products and services.
Well, I'm assuming that webinars have become hotter and hotter during COVID. Was that been your people are more willing to attend, or what's your experience?
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot of action when it comes to that. So with EVERFI, we've done online events, we've done webinars, roundtables, customer councils, things like that. And then I also sit on the board for American Marketing Association for DC. And we've done a lot of offline events. We actually took our mentor program and completely transitioned it to be a digital first. And we've seen a lot of great interaction. I think at first it was a little bumpy, but now I think people are kind of expecting it and kind of know what they're getting into when they do some of the fun activities that webinars allow us to do during this time.
Well, I can relate because I have to do my advisees, work with my advisees on Zoom now, and it's working great. It really is. Sometimes I think it's better than in the office.
Yeah, I definitely have had a lot of fun with the different events, from day-to-day meetings all the way to networking, games and activities. EVERFI did a trivia game for our holiday party, and it was actually quite fun just online. Yeah.
Great. So I'm wondering, could you give us sort of the step-by-step when a new product or service is released, getting it into the market?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, when we're thinking go-to-market strategy, I like to put the different planning processes into two different buckets. So one would be a new product or service into the market where you're sort of starting from scratch in the development process. And then the other would be more diversification. So you're adding maybe a new feature or a new side to the product in an existing market. But I would really say both of those might have different tactics underneath, but the general mapping of a go-to-market plan would be really focusing on launch planning and research upfront, marketing and sales strategy, and then thinking also beyond that launch of what do you do once somebody's bought the product, or what do you do to keep interest growing in the market? And when I'm planning launches, I always think about what the late Clayton Christensen, Harvard business professor, said, that about 30,000 products are launched every year, and about 90% fail, and a lot of them fail because of poor planning and product market fit. So getting it right with that portion of the launch makes everything else sort of smoother along the way. And of course, when it comes into product market fit, it's also business goal fit too, right? We don't want to launch something or promote something, be trying to sort of retroactively fit something into the market or into the business plan.
Sure. Great, thank you. So it sounds like, as I mentioned before, I'm hearing that you're dealing with everybody within the company pretty much. And I'm wondering, you have to build enthusiasm and hype to get your product on center stage, both inside the company and then out in the marketplace. So could you talk about that both first inside the company, like I want my product to shine, and then how do you build hype out in the marketplace?
Sure. So internally, it's really, really important for a product marketer to work very closely with their product manager, the product owner, and understand what's going into that product, what the roadmap looks like, when these different, almost like breadcrumbs will be revealed that then you can synthesize and put out into a training or a one pager, some sort of collateral that gets the marketing team excited, that gets the sales team excited, and that gets everybody sort of on the same page tracking towards that launch date. And when you do that and you start to build a lot of resources for teams to start using, that's when they get excited because they start to see, oh wow, this awesome product's coming to market and I have all the tools that I can start talking about it with prospects and customers. And the product marketer has given sort of the personas, so as I'm prospecting, I know who to go after, or I know who to put this paid campaign towards. So having all of those sort of tools really helps get the team excited. And,
Mhm.
like we mentioned earlier, the product marketer is kind of constantly talking or pinging somebody about, hey, did you hear this? Hey, I want to share this with you. So it's a lot of just making sure that information about the product gets out and it's the right information that the team needs to start building a pipeline and generating leads and all of that great stuff.
Mhm. Great.
From the external perspective, it's again a partnership with somebody that may work in demand gen. So, for example, I work really closely with our marketing directors to say, here's what I'm seeing from a persona, market landscape, competitive intelligence perspective. How can we infuse some of these talking points or some of these features and functionality into some email messaging? Or how can we write a blog about this pain point that our prospect or our customers are facing, and then help drive leads so that sales can pick up once that lead is come through and say, hey, I noticed you were interested in this blog, are you experiencing the same sort of problems, or what are you seeing? And it starts to drive a conversation and get excitement from that angle. So I think the B2B space, which is where I sit, is a little more formulaic sometimes than what you'd see in a B2C, where they sometimes do more splashier things. But
Mhm.
it's arming both all the teams that I work with the right information to sort of let them then be the owners of the creativity that they're going to do to kind of drive the excitement in the market.
Mhm. Can you tell me a little bit about how you build personas? Where do you get your intelligence to do that?
Sure. So a lot of reading, research. I have Google Alerts set up, and we look at ideal customer profiles. So past wins, past losses. What were the types of profiles that we were engaging with during those different sales initiatives, and then looking forward. So an example of something I'm working on right now is putting out a LinkedIn survey to marketers to trying to see where education and educational sponsorship, which is what EVERFI does, how does that fit into their marketing campaigns or their larger marketing initiatives? So it's a lot of looking at data and market research, reading a lot of trend reports, industry reports, and starting to build out just what a persona might be, and then going to our demand gen team and trying to test those and trying to push through with seeing if this isn't resonating, how can we pivot, or how can we sharpen the detail that you might need in order to better serve these personas to kind of attract them and help close new business.
Mhm. And in B2B, for the same product, you have to deal with lots of different decision makers or influencers, correct? So you
Yep.
have multiple personas usually.
Right. Sometimes it'll be straightforward. If it's a more compliance driven product, you might have one persona, but in a lot of cases, it's going to be a consensus build where,
Mhm.
somebody may have the dollars, but there's other team members that are integral into getting that person to say, yes, I want to sign
Mhm.
on for this particular product or service.
gets pretty complex, doesn't it? But that leads me to ask, what's the most rewarding part of bringing a new product or service to the market?
Sure. I mean, for me, given my background in demand gen, I just love to see the growth of a company and the growth and interest in the market. I think that gets me really excited and kind of says everything we did to build this product and everything we thought this product could be, it's paying off on not only customer happiness, and our NPS score could potentially be boosted, but we're also seeing the right leads come in and qualify and move down the funnel to close one. So I just think the business impact of releasing something that's right in terms of its market fit and right in terms of its business goals is really exciting.
Mhm.
Um,
And so you mentioned NPS, Net Promoter Score. Is that something you do by surveying your current customers mainly? Is that what happens?
yeah, so we have a customer experience team that really handles that. But yeah, surveying them, wanting to always improve that number to be best in class.
Mhm. So next thing I'm going to ask you about is storytelling. And in B2B, some people say, well, it's so cut and dried, but people are people and they relate to hearing stories that they can embrace. So how do you use storytelling in B2B?
Sure. We take the approach of, trying to humanize the products we have and humanize the end user. So for EVERFI, we have a sponsorship model in some areas, and we really want to showcase how teachers and students are using our products to those sponsors. So, we do things like impact reporting where we'll showcase knowledge gain and teacher quotes and different things like that. But outside of the education technology space that I'm currently in, I think it's really about humanizing the product and making it something that's connected to a business problem that we all can relate to.
Mhm.
And I think you see bigger brands like your Googles, your Amazons doing this quite well, where they're sort of blurring the line between this is a B2B product, but we're going to play on a human feeling and need and
Mhm.
sort of take that B2C approach and infusing it. So I think that B2B can be entertaining. It's just, striking the balance between showcasing a business problem and the product or service that fits, and realizing that the person on the other end of the line is a human at the end of the day that, you could speak the same language to and sort of like understand from a humanized perspective.
One of my favorite examples of that is CDW, used to be called Computer Discount Warehouse. And they created this persona of the put upon IT guy. And they did videos of this poor guy with all these dumb people like me saying, I broke the internet. And the IT guy said, oh, they're so stupid. That was very funny. And it was just sort of an in thing for the IT people.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're saying that, I'm thinking of like HubSpot, I think does a really good job, and Salesforce. Both of
Mhm.
those really, you sometimes forget that they're selling B2B products because of the amount of just like person first language and educational
Mhm.
resources that they're giving out.
Have you ever seen the New Pig catalog?
No.
You should check that out. New Pig, they make very boring products, but they have this mascot that's a pig. And if you buy from them, they'll send you things like a baseball cap with a pigtail on the back and pig pencil with a little tail on it.
Um,
Yeah, they have a little fun with their boring products. Okay, so the next thing I'm wondering about is how you build brand awareness for your new products.
Sure. So I would say brand awareness comes from, again, just all of the different things that go into a launch. So throughout the phases of the launch, you'll have, research and market fit, and then you'll move into sort of strategizing around what collateral, what web presence, what social initiatives or direct mail kind of initiatives when we were in the office would we want to do. And then working with our comms team on what does a press look like press release look like for this launch? So it's really, again, that collaborative effort where the product marketer is sort of um, engaging with all the different stakeholders to say, hey, mental health awareness month is in May. Can we do something around this product then? Or can we run a campaign to business leaders who might be struggling with X? So it's a lot of just like market sensing, I'd say, to build brand awareness around particular products. And then how does that ladder up to the overall business brand awareness that our marketers and our PR and comms team is working to grow as well.
It sounds like you spend a lot of your day communicating with others. Do you do it? Do you use Slack? Do you have email? How do you get in touch with people?
Sure. We're Google first. So we use WeChat, Google Hangouts, phone calls, emails. It's so easy now to just say, hey, can I have 5 minutes and put on a video call and just talk through something. So, we have set meetings for the different product lines, and then we'll do just one-offs as needed. But yeah, I mean, you're sort of hitting it again and again, that communication is so key for a product marketer.
Have you been working at home for a long time, or are you back in the office?
No, we've been, I think this Friday will be a full year working from home. Yep. EVERFI took a really aggressive approach to kind of making sure we would be able to seamless as possible, I should say, work from home and continue to be safe. Yep.
Great. So kind of wrapping up here, I have two more questions. How do you measure success of a new product or service?
Sure, that's a great question. And it's sort of the $1 million question right now in product marketing is, how do you show or prove ROI when a lot of the tasks that a product marketer is doing are qualitative, and what we don't want to be known for is sort of a collateral factory, right? So some of the ways that we're looking at success of products is customer retention. So when it comes time for renewals, are they renewing? Pipeline build, the amount of customers that we've gotten in different truncated time periods. So the pre-selling period, the period right after launch, and then, post-launch, what goes into that. And then just customer surveying, like, are they happy with the product? Do they feel like they have enough information? And then also surveying our internal stakeholders. So does a sales rep feel like product marketing has educated them enough on the product? Did they feel really good during the pre-sale and the launch and then post-launch? So right now at EVERFI, and I think through my network of product marketers, we're still trying to figure out what is the right mix of KPIs to measure a product marketer on. But those are some of the areas that we look at and we explore.
So I suspect that some of the people that view or listen to this podcast will say, wow, that sounds like a great job. So what advice do you have for someone who is thinking about getting into this field, or maybe they have the opportunity to promote a new product or service?
Sure. I would say for those looking to get into product marketing, if you're not able to sort of get an internship or start as an associate or assistant, look for roles that allow you to take a project management and strategic initiatives, roles that allow you to do some writing, some positioning, different things like that, because that'll help sharpen and flex the skills that are needed in order to be a product marketer. And then for those people who maybe aren't in the product marketing role by name, but are launching products and services, there are a ton of resources out there right now. Product Marketing Alliance is one of them that has templates and blogs and just like a ton of rich resources on different ways to go about product marketing. Like we mentioned at the top of this call, product marketing is not standardized at the moment. It's kind of like different flavors for different industries at different size companies. So, there's a lot of networks and collaboration out there if you're looking for advice on it. But, planning and making sure you have a great launch plan and testing that, I would say, if you're a team of one launching a product too.
Would you say there's a lot of growth potential in the field of product marketing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've seen it sort of grow. I didn't know prior to joining EVERFI what product marketing was. I was like, oh, I've heard of that, but I feel like it's super technical. But in my head, I was thinking of a product manager. And so sometimes that gets confused, right? But I've just seen a ton of growth just from people I know that have switched out of more of a generalized marketing role and into product marketing. It seems like, tech companies some services companies are sort of realizing the power that this role can provide to other teams in the organization.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Alex Virden from EVERFI. We really appreciate your insights and your time today. So you've been listening to WVU Marketing Communications today. Thank you for joining us. Please be sure to visit go.wvu.edu/MC today to view our upcoming sessions, listen to previous recordings, and subscribe to receive updates. Have a great day.